All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Grace, and I am the CEO and owner of Social Register Network. And I am here today to bring you one of our Social Register members. We usually do this one-on-one with Social Register members to really bring them on to our show, have them share their story so you can get to know them a little bit more. So today, I'm excited to share David Burlin. I'm going to bring him up, but we also have some exciting news. So, David, I'm bringing you on.
Hey, Mary Grace. Great to see you.
Yes, happy Friday. How are you doing?
I'm doing incredible. A little staycation here in Vegas, in between a move and some other things, but it's weird for me to be on the strip, right? As a local, to be staying on the strip, but it was a fun little staycation with my son, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, that's fun. Were you able to check out the pool for a little bit
I
for your son?
did. I
Yeah,
did. Yeah, absolutely. So,
that's usually the number one spot that people hit up, right?
yep,
All right.
indeed.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on because you and I actually connected during the pandemic in a clubhouse room through Josh Line. And I was so excited to hear that, another person really values making meaningful connections and really trying to crush that stigma around networking. So I'm just so excited to introduce you to everybody here in our membership and also the business community. So Dave, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Tell everyone about you. You are a Marine Corps veteran entrepreneur, which is absolutely amazing. You're also a speaker, coach, and consultant, and you're the ambassador of Bunker Labs LV chapter. And you have many more other things. I saw on YouTube that you actually did a TED Talk as well. You have a lot going on. So I'm super excited. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, yeah, as you mentioned, my name's Dave Burlin. I am a Marine Corps veteran entrepreneur. And gosh, if you looked at the last 10 years of well, even the last 20 years, it would seem crazy, right? Everything that I've been fortunate to do, I've got to pursue a lot of passions. I've got to serve and help a lot of people. And it's kind of turned into all of these amazing opportunities to get to pursue things like the TED Talk. And it's been really incredible to see all of that come from relationships. If I go all the way back to when I was in the military, that was all the way back pre 9/11. I got out post 9/11. After the military, I worked for a boot camp for life. It was a military academy in Oklahoma, back in my hometown of Pryor, and I worked with at-risk youth. I was a drill instructor for at-risk youth, high school dropouts for 7 years. I took the leap and wanted to do something completely different, and I did. I became a wedding DJ, and while that's one of my favorite titles that I've ever got to have, I've been DJing weddings for the last 11 years. I've done more than 400 weddings all over the United States, but that business was really the key that opened up a whole world of personal and professional development. That's the world that led me to find things like TED Talks, to find things like Disrupt HR. And really, it's what opened up a whole world of opportunity just through personal and professional growth. I mean, once I started reading books, I started connecting with more and more people. I started applying the things that I learned from those books. The wedding DJ business was just in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I actually helped expand that into Dallas, into Kansas City, and I used the skills that I learned from the military, and I helped people start to scale their operations. So it's really been a lot of fun. It's been really fascinating. I took some rabbit trails along the way because once I started doing consulting on my own, there's so many incredible people that are doing amazing things. I would jump on their bandwagon for a little bit, and I would help them maximize their influence. Through all of that, one thing that's been at the root of everything that I've always done is relationships and relationship building. You mentioned the TED Talk. That came from being part of a book club and setting a crazy audacious goal that I wanted to do a TED Talk. And there was other people in that book club, and we met for breakfast on Friday mornings at 5:00. And two other people wanted to do a TED Talk. And it's funny because one person who never, ever wanted to speak in front of people at all, she actually was friends with somebody who had the license for TEDx Tulsa. And she put that event together and let that dream come true for all of us. So it's been really fascinating to see that in business, in life, and probably, 4 or 5 years ago. Well, actually, gosh, it's already 2021, 2015, 2014, 2015. I read a powerful book. It was the book Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh, and that's what inspired my family to move to Vegas and be part of the Zappos family. And that dream came true in a little bit different way than I expected. But here we are now making a dent in the universe out here in Las Vegas. And it's been more fascinating to meet people since I've been here a little over 3 years. I think right about 3 years is where I'm coming up on. And I found ways to impact the community, bring people together the same way that I've always done it. And one of those ways was meeting you and all the stuff that you're doing with Social Register. To keep up with everything, one thing that I do is I do host the podcast. That's been a way that I can introduce some of the fascinating and remarkable people that I've met through this journey to everybody else. Took a little break here in February, but I've got some new stuff coming up for the podcast here soon. And I'm just really excited to see Vegas open back up and see ways that we can expand the reach of what Vegas is doing here and the way that we're building relationships, and see how that can happen in other cities and other markets through some of the different organizations that I'm connected to and part of. So one of those is Bunker Labs, and it's been really fun to, I actually got introduced to Bunker Labs in 2016, whenever they came through Tulsa. Bunker Labs is essentially, it's a program. There's a lot of veteran service organizations out there, but Bunker Labs primarily helps veterans and their spouses start and grow businesses. So there's a lot of veteran organizations out there that help with all kinds of things. This is one that was near and dear to my heart because I'm a huge fan of entrepreneurship. I believe that veterans in entrepreneurship can be sort of that lighthouse and flagpole for other veterans to keep them moving and keep them successful in their transition. Definitely not for everybody, but for the ones that do want to make that leap, or for their spouses that want to make that leap, Bunker Labs has a lot of resources to plug them in, not just in their local community, but on the national level as well. So really excited. We launched Bunker Labs behind the curtain of COVID. We had great partners and sponsors like the Cosmopolitan. We were going to shoot confetti cannons off the rooftop when we cut the ribbon back in May, but we had to do that behind the curtain of COVID. So now we've got our space over here at WeWork. I've started things to really raise awareness to what we're doing in the community, and you have been a huge help for that. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Again, I'm just so grateful that I met you. And thank you, Josh Line. I don't know if you're listening. Thank you. And if I see someone is watching, so just a housekeeping item. I didn't mention this in the beginning. If you could just allow StreamYard to capture your first and last name. So if you want to make any comments, we'll be able to see it live, and Dave will be able to read it live as well. But if you're catching the replay, just hashtag replay. Dave is a member of the Social Register, so he will be in the membership group, and he'll see all the comments that's coming in. But yes, I just want to extend my appreciation to you and to Josh Line. Thank you for your service. I think I shared this with you before that veterans are something very, very near and dear to our heart in my house. My husband is a huge veteran supporter, so thank you so much. And with that, I'm just so excited. Dave and I are excited to share that we actually partnered up the Las Vegas chapters of Bunker Lab with Social Register Network. And Dave and I will share a little bit more about that. But what that essentially means is every time you purchase a executive level membership, when a new member comes in and purchase at that level, we are going to make membership available to a veteran entrepreneur. So this is so exciting. Dave, tell me, can you share more about Bunker Labs and what a veteran, what kind of assistance do they get through this program? Because for me, it was my first time learning about it. And like you said, there's so many different programs, and this seems to be very unique. I've never heard something, really focused on entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And first of all, a lot of the things that I say in the world of veteran transition is very much my opinion. It's never to cause any kind of political or anything. Any challenges there. But from what I've learned in veteran transition and working across multiple different organizations and helping different organizations, I see veteran transition as actually two distinct conversations. There's one that is post-traumatic stress, and there's one that is post-traumatic growth.
Mhm.
The challenges with post-traumatic stress is that ultimately ends in a very hard conversation, and I don't even want to bring up the word.
Mhm.
Post-traumatic growth, however, has so much opportunity on the other side because it's ever evolving. So when I look at organizations, I look which side are they servicing. Now we need service and we need resources on both sides. But what's fascinating to me about post-traumatic growth and veteran entrepreneurship is we give veterans the resources and the network to be successful and take on their ventures. Now, it isn't a program where they go through and they get a big Happy Gilmore check at the end. However, we do have a lot of resources that we do put them in front of pitch competitions. We do put them in front of investors because of the network of entrepreneurship. That's what we're built on. So we have one flagship program, and this is in partnership with WeWork. And for basically for everywhere across the country where there's a WeWork and there's a Bunker Labs program, we have programs called Veterans in Residence. Veterans in Residence is a 6-month cohort. We give veterans that apply and get accepted into the program, they get access to the WeWork facility for 6 months.
Wow.
And we do a weekly huddle. So I facilitate that huddle, and that huddle is kind of like a group coaching session, but it's more peer mentoring. We want everyone to be very vulnerable with where they're at. We need people to say, here's where I'm excited. Here's where I've got good news. Here's business best. Here's personal best. Here's what I need, right? The thing that I'm struggling with. Like a lot of our check-ins start with one thing I learned this week, ...
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite, if I'm being honest. And a lot of times, if I'm being honest and they get really real, there's somebody at the table who has already been through that. A lot of these people are coming in their first 2 years of business, but some people are already making money and they're ready to scale and start bringing on team members. Some people are just in that idea to income phase, but it's the camaraderie and not just the resources locally that will help them move the needle in their business. The interesting thing about that cohort is it's happening across all of the programs, Bunker Labs wide, and we all run on the same calendar. So when we graduated this group this last week, and they finished a 6-month program, 30 other programs across the country have just finished their 6-month program. And when we start another one next month, all of them start at the same time. And we have lots of events virtually that can connect everybody. There's so many people that are in the same industry. So it's really just this network of positive influence, energy, and impact that really helps everybody be successful.
Yeah, I love it. I think you and we align in the way that you must make meaningful connections. And I believe, so I always say this, that the entrepreneurial journey in this world can be a lonely space. So having that community and that support group, just like what you're building for these veterans, is absolutely important. I know I teach it and I preach it. People are just like so tired of hearing me say it, but it's so true. I know you, Dave, when you came in as an entrepreneur, there's so many ups and downs. And to know that there's people who are like-minded, who maybe already been on the journey or who are currently on the same journey as you, it makes you feel better that there's people that you can like ask advice from, you can be honest, you could be vulnerable. That's the part that I love.
Yeah, it's refreshing. Now you can do it in small doses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally right here in Las Vegas, anytime that I really get discouraged or I feel like I'm alone, I'll just go sit in the lobby of any hotel and go grab coffee or go grab a drink. And there's always somebody on the hustle that I can kind of connect with. And sometimes that gets me fired up. What's really powerful about this group is it's a home base. It really gives them a home base for 6 months. Not to mention, I mean, I'm here at WeWork. We have a fascinating facility. We've got prime real estate. We're the top floor. We've got a big office. It overlooks the strip. We've got whiteboard rooms. We've got free coffee. We've got everything that we need to really just have a place to go. And that makes a huge difference right there all on its own. But to also know that we're connected and we can, while they're in the program, they can walk into any WeWork around the world, 24/7 hours access, and they can, hey, I'm in Austin this week. I'm going to go ahead and set my business meetings up there. Like it's a huge burden that's removed that gives them the freedom to really make some big moves while they're in the program. But some of them even get to come back and go through the program again and some of them even come back as a kind of like an advisor, right? They come back as like a teacher's assistant, if that's the term. But also we do have another program that goes above that. This is for anybody that's ever been through that program. They have to be accepted into that as well. It's called CEO Circle. It's more of a high level mastermind for some of the companies that did make it through the first program, that did grow and scale. And now there's a more of a higher level network for those companies that are ready to scale or things of that nature. So I haven't really made it that far because we have just finished our first group for the cohort here in Las Vegas. But here in the next year and a half, we'll have people from Vegas that represent CEO Circle across the country as well.
Wow, that's going to be extremely amazing. I love that you have different tiers as well. Now, I don't think you shared this. Are veterans charged to go through this program, or is this a complimentary service?
Great question. It's free of charge. So we are a nonprofit organization. We couldn't do this without great partners like WeWork and JP Morgan Chase. There's a lot of really, like, I remember whenever I first went to the first event, we had it at the Schultz at the headquarters for Starbucks, because the Schultz Family Foundation is one of our big supporters as well. But it also comes from local community partners and local community sponsors as well. Each city is very unique, and with that, so are our partnerships and our sponsors in those areas.
So when a veteran goes through the program, do you like bring in experts that help with the education, or is it whoever the ambassador is for that chapter?
Yeah, that's an awesome question as well. So it's generally experts, and this last cohort, I was pretty much the huddle master every week. We do have once or twice a month, we do have a national virtual program that we bring in big speakers and sponsors. But one thing that I can do here in the community is I can definitely set up the programming to where we do have somebody come in and do more of a formal speaking presentation. It was pretty challenging to do in this last January to June, simply because of COVID. But now, as those restrictions open up a little bit, I plan on having guest speakers and stuff, every other week or so. I'd love to have other industry experts come in and help some of these people. And that comes with raising awareness to what we're doing in the program.
I believe so too. And there's so many great experts out here in Las Vegas. I mean, you and I both live here in Vegas, and there's so many people we have a huge presence in veterans here. Like, everyone supports veterans out here. That's what I've noticed compared to any other city. And, I haven't been far, but for the cities that I've gone to, Vegas has a huge heart for veterans. So if you are a industry leader, you are someone who wants to give back to this community, please link up with Dave. I'm going to put all of his information in the comments or the description of this post so you can connect with Dave, learn more about Bunker Labs and how you can bring awareness to the program. But also, if you want to volunteer or help with anything else, you can definitely discuss that with Dave. Now, we talked about
Oh, I was going to say, there is one thing, and this is where I need some people's help, right? And launching behind the curtain of COVID was very challenging. I'm a viral thinker when it comes to marketing and ideas. I came up with an idea from another program that I worked with that did veteran stuff, and I stole the idea. So I've created the Veteran Entrepreneur Library. And what the Veteran Entrepreneur Library is it's right now, it's just a bookshelf. It's in our office. We've got a handful of books on there, but every one of those books represents a conversation about Bunker Labs that I've had with somebody in the community here in our office. And it's a tangible thing that's filling up the bookshelf. And WeWork is actually going to donate one of their whole library walls. And it's going to be an official Veteran Entrepreneur Library sponsored by Bunker Labs and WeWork. I have an ambitious goal. I started this a couple of months ago. And my goal is to have 500 books on the shelf here in Vegas. Now, it's not about the number of books, because anybody can say, oh, I've got 100 books that I can give you. It's literally about the number of conversations that me or somebody else from the program here gets to have with another person in the community. They come in, they take a picture with the book. We got free coffee for days if you want free coffee. But I just want to be able to let people know what we're doing. They can co-work out of the space for a little bit if they want to. It's funny because it became viral. The CEO at Bunker Labs caught onto it, and he told some of the other programs, and now it's like people are trying to race me to fill up their shelf. Yeah. But here's what happens. Just more and more people now know about Bunker Labs. Yeah. And I'm not asking for a big Happy Gilmore check. Those are great. If you know people that have those, send them. But we're always looking for volunteers. And right now, just that picture with the book will start to let more people know about what we're doing here in the community. So if anybody wants to come in, have coffee and co-work for the day, coffee's on me. Just bring your favorite book.
Amazing. Amazing. I know you did share that with me before, and I have a book for you too as well. So I feel like the book that we should choose is something that was very powerful in our journey. Like you said, it draws a conversation. It's something that you read that's made an impact on your life. I think that's amazing. So many other entrepreneurs, like my business strategists and brand strategists, they have actually sent me books and they're like, you need to read this. So there's actually one that has been very impactful to my personal and professional life that I will definitely be donating.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for, because that has a different level of contribution. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I have a book that's on the shelf.
Yes.
Right. I've done that. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of meaningful connection that it takes for us to really build this community. And it's not that everybody's connected to a veteran, but my hope is that when somebody's out there having coffee with a new network of people and somebody says they're a veteran, the first thing they think of is, oh my gosh, you got to go talk to Dave at Bunker Labs. He can help.
Yeah. How amazing is that? So I will definitely put that information in the description as well. So you guys need to connect with Dave. He has some really cool things coming up as well. And just everything he's doing for the veteran community, but even to the business community as a whole, he's doing so much that this is someone you need to connect with. There was something, so we went through the experts and who you bring in. The program is complimentary to veterans who are going through the program. Now, when they are complete with the program, what do they go through? Do they have like some kind of graduation?
Yeah. So this is actually huge for us. So right now, all of the programs that have just graduated all around the country, every state, every community has a little bit different restrictions. But we're all celebrating our capstone event. That's what we call it. It's our hail and farewell. But it's basically celebrating all of the people that just went through the program, and it's welcoming the next group of people that have been accepted into the program that starts in July. We are very fortunate to get to have a live event, and we're going to be doing it here next Thursday on the 17th. We're going to be downtown at the International Innovation Center. So thanks to the team here with the city of Las Vegas, Ryan Smith and all those guys that have made that space available for us. So we will be doing our capstone event on Thursday. We've got food. We've got Tito's is sponsoring all of the alcohol for the event. So you're more than welcome to come hang out, meet some of the veteran entrepreneurs. The biggest thing that we ask is that we RSVP as a nonprofit organization. That's how we track, kind of the impact that we're making in the community. But also, if you want to get that free parking, and if you want to get a guaranteed spot, we ask that people RSVP, but we want people to come celebrate with us. We want people to come see what we're doing. We've invited dignitaries from local government, state government. There's going to be a lot of really incredible people there. And historically, this is something where, people like the mayor show up to. We're trying to make that normal here in Vegas. Because we did launch behind the curtain of COVID, that's what we're looking at doing, is making us, right there, stand shoulder to shoulder, like some of the people in some of the communities like DC and Chicago, where it was founded, Denver, things like that. So we're here to make a dent.
Wow, I love it. And this will be a chance for the community to really get to know Dave and what the Bunker Labs is all about. So coming to this capstone, the perk obviously is to celebrate the veterans who have gone through the program, and then welcome the new ones, but learn more about what Bunker Labs is. Like, go out there, go to the event. And like you said, thank goodness we're open 100% and we're able to do this again.
Absolutely. We are so excited. It's a little bit nerve wracking because, you know, you and I both, we were in the realm and the rhythm of doing events for so long. I can't even tell you the last time I hosted a live event. You know what I mean? So I'm a little excited to do it again. But now it's all those logistics of making sure that everything's going to be in the right place. But we're definitely excited.
Do you need any support or help for the event? Is there anything?
So, yeah, the biggest thing is the awareness, right? So if anybody can share some of the posts that may be going out over the next couple of days to raise that awareness, our goal is to get shut down and say, you brought too many people. Like that's always my goal.
Yes.
But also I would encourage people that are coming. You know, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I'm still taking books. So if people are bringing books for the Veteran Entrepreneur Library, I'll have a little station set up to where we'll take a photo with it and try and highlight everybody as we can. But also, we are always looking for volunteers. So this week we have 4 or 5 volunteers already. But as we do start to open up events again, volunteers is definitely something that helps us out. So it could be standing outside, just pointing where people park. It could be, you know, moving some tables and chairs around. It's good and handy to have any volunteers all the time. So that's what we're building as well as our network of volunteers. So anybody that's interested in that, you know, come hang out with us and we'll figure out how to put you to work as well.
Yeah, definitely reach out to Dave. Dave, am I allowed to put out the flyer as well, like in this group, so then they can get the information?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. I'll have a few other graphics and stuff too, and then I'll start putting out more posts a little bit later today, and then through the weekend, through the week. We've noticed a big jump, a spike in RSVPs just in the last 2 days. So I think we doubled our numbers from like 20 to 40, almost overnight. I don't want to say overnight, but almost. So it's been really great to see everybody raising their hand and wanting to be involved.
Yeah, super exciting. So I'll put all the information again in the description box. And then also be sure to register because, you know, for events, I know this and Dave knows this, it's extremely important that you reserve your spot because food and parking and there's just so many logistics as an event planner and someone who's putting it together. There's a reason why we need those registrations. We wouldn't ask for it if we didn't really need it. There were no logistics and things attached to it.
Very much. And we don't have anything to sell, right? We're not trying to sell people on the back end to subscribe. You know, the only thing that you do whenever you register is you put yourself out there for our newsletter, and then our newsletter is how we get out information. You know, every time that we're interviewing for the next class, we do interviews. We do applications and interviews for that program, the Veterans and Residents program. Generally, there's a window for that, and you know, I'll be really honest. The first one that we did, this group that we're graduating, we didn't even have a full class because we didn't have a big network. This one, we do have a full class. Next one, we'll have a full class, and unfortunately, we'll have to turn people away. But one thing that Bunker Labs has done is they've also opened up virtual programs for people that just can't fit into a physical one. So we're doing everything that we can to put people in that position, but that's one of the things that helps us get that information out. Because the worst thing is whenever I tell people about what we're doing and people say, "Oh, I never heard about it." Like, "Hey, did you apply for the Veterans and Residents program?" I didn't know. It's like, just RSVP for an event and you'll know it.
Yes, yes. And that's another thing. If you know a veteran entrepreneur, a veteran who wants to launch a business, you have to link up with Dave so then he can give them information on the program. And then if you don't make it for that program, you can reapply, right? Like for the next one.
Yeah. We've had people that have done that. So we have had people that didn't make it in one time and then they made it in the next time. Essentially, we watch everyone, right? We're always paying attention to how involved people are. It's definitely not a freebie where it's just like, "Oh, I'm in this program," and then you just never show up. It really does. It's important that when you take a seat at the table, that you show up to that seat because there's so much power in that group and in those huddles. It's just not there if people don't show up. So we're always looking at the people that apply. And in fact, you brought it up. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it. One of the people that I'm really excited about that made it into this program is Josh Line.
Yes.
Josh Line, who introduced us. He did my headshots. I love that guy to death. And when his application came across, he's definitely somebody who's put in the work. He's made a lot of connections, and he's just been so selfless to all the people and all the veterans in our community that he was absolutely made it into the program as soon as I could sign off on it. So
that's so funny you mentioned it, because he did tell me that, and I wasn't going to put out his name, but I'm glad you did. I was going to say, hey, one of our members is actually part of the program. So I'm so happy that you announced that, because Josh is an amazing human being. I try to tell everybody this, and they probably, I talk about these things because it's true. I wouldn't be telling people these things 10 million times and driving them crazy if it weren't. Josh is an amazing human being, and everything he's doing for the veteran community, he does these headshots for them. He wants to put their story out, is absolutely amazing what he's doing. So I'm so glad that he is a part of the program, because he is well deserved to, be in there.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have him.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for joining me today, for sharing your story and sharing more about Bunker Labs. And I'm excited for our partnership and everything that we have in store for the future. So stay tuned, everyone, because we actually are putting together an event. I don't have the exact date, but we're hoping it'll be in July. So we're going to have an event together where Bunker Labs will be the host, and you'll be able to get to know Dave if you haven't already before this event. And I think at that event also we're asking for the donations for the books.
Yeah, that's it's really just a catalyst. And when I set the goal of 500, I didn't think it was crazy. I knew things were going to be opening back up. I think we're at like 25 books right now. And it seems like how can you go from 25 to 500? And the answer's with pig-headed discipline and determination, and partnerships with people that believe what we believe. And that's where I'm really excited to team up with you.
I think you're going to hit it up. You're going to hit it off. I think by the end of this year, you're going to have more than 500.
I believe so too.
Yeah, I believe so too. With these partnerships and everybody learning about it and such a great cause and where it's going to, I think you're going to hit it. You're going to hit it there.
There it is.
All right. Again, thank you so much, Dave, for joining me today. And everyone who is joining us today, please, if you are joining us for the replay, you have a question for Dave, please put it in the comments. We will be monitoring the comments. And again, if you value creating meaningful connections and really connecting with people like Dave, who are industry leaders, business owners, and entrepreneurs, definitely check us out. Our Facebook is Social Register Network, YouTube. Our website as well is socialregister.com. We're very easy to find, again, and we really just value making meaningful connections out here. So definitely connect with us. And I'll say it again, Dave's information will be in the description box. The flyer for the capstone on June 17th will also be in the description box. You let us know how else we can support you, and you have a great weekend. Today's Friday, so have a great weekend. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Bye.